Sorry.
I don't have anything like a PowerPoint. I don't have anything like slides, anything like that, because I want to talk from the heart. And I want to talk in a way that hopefully will resonate with you, and just the way I feel the conversation, rather than having something that's prepared. And I want to today give a message of hope. I want today to give a message of liberation, of courage, and of really something that will drive us forward. But I want to start this message of hope with with something that might be unsettling, and it could be a reality check. And the reality check is that none of us is going to change the world. None of us is going to change the system of education in a way that will have profound effects and make the lives of all children better. None of us is going to have a revolution in education where we could finally right all the wrongs that we see. It's just not going to happen. Just like none of us is going to fix the ozone layer, or reverse, the increase in temperature in on Earth. None of us is going to do that. And I think that, and I'm really glad Maggie's here, because she writes beautifully about this. But I think once we appreciate that we will not change anything on a global scale, we can start thinking about what we can do on a more personal and local scale. And it's more than just the idea of think global, act local. It's the idea that we are where we are, and we have to take time maybe in cultivating moment by moment where we want to go, who we want to be, who we want to become, and where we want to go. And so in the world of education, this means thinking about what our values are, thinking about what's really important to us, thinking about where we want to take school, because everyone here has a different set of values. Everyone here has a different set of ambitions, but something brought us here all together. So we might have different specifics, but we are all here for a reason. And so the idea here is thinking about what our values are, what we want, and then asking ourselves how we want to take this forward day to day, so that we act locally by changing our behaviors and our relationship towards other people, towards all life forms, animals, plants, natural world. We take these relationships and we live the way we feel. We live by our values. We treat each other with whatever our values are. Because yesterday, Kyle really set me up very well for this, because he gave stories of things that happened locally. Somebody who worked on the infrastructure in Beijing, somebody who worked on water, and none of those is going to fix climate action, but individually, they all make a difference. But more to the point, all of these small actions make us connect with other people. And I consider this, I keep thinking of this idea of a ball of mercury, where we might be a little bit of a ball, but we meet somebody else who has the same value, and then we come together, and we come together with another ball, and then eventually have a great big ball that has huge electromagnetic energy, and that attracts others. And that's how we're going to change the world, by moment, little by little. Because the truth is, we've been trying to change education for over 120 years. Maria Montessori, John Dewey, and it hasn't changed. Because we have to fight forces of capitalism. We have to fight 500 years of this Western mechanistic thinking that says that we are not part of the natural world, we're not part of our bodies. We have to fight people who are just there to make money off of the system, or just throw money in as for these ego projects. We have to fight corporations. We have to fight universities. We have to fight governments. We have to fight all these things. And it's just not going to happen on a macro scale, but we can make it happen on a micro scale. So when we say we need courage, in order to do something new, when we say we need, like, it's scary, when we say, oh, we don't know where we're going, we do, if we look at our values. And if we want to buy into the narrative that we need kids to go to university, then fine, that's okay. That's completely okay. But if we don't want to buy into that, then we live by those values. And we're okay if our kids don't go to university. If we want them to thrive and be happy, then we live by that. And then the fear goes away. If my boy doesn't go to university, that's okay. That's okay. As long as he thrives and he's happy. Those are my values. Or they could be my values if I did enough reflection. If I really want him to go to the university, if that's really important to me that he goes to Harvard, he goes to medical school, then that's okay too. We are where we are. And so once we start to think about the values that we have and the narrative that we want to write for ourselves rather than receive it from someone else, then we become free and we have the courage to move forward. And for schools, that means that there is no right or wrong. There's no right or wrong of where we are. It's just because a school is doing one thing, they're not right or wrong. They are where they are. And sometimes these big, American International School or wherever, maybe moving this much is enough. And maybe that's okay. And maybe for the smaller schools that are out in the woods and live, at one with nature, maybe that's okay if they move this much. And maybe a school in the urban area is able to connect with the community and they move this much, and that's okay. Because we feel empowered and liberated once we appreciate that it is no longer out of our control. And as Maggie writes about this idea of fear of the future, this idea of powerlessness when faced with climate action, if we do the little things every day and if we treat each other and we live by our values, then that will go off into the world and we meet the people who feel the same, and then we work together. And the people who want to live differently, let them go their way. We will go our way. And that's how I think we'll change ourselves and the ones around us. So I just wanted to say this again, speaking from the heart, because it could be quite sad and saddening to realize that we have such a big boulder to push, but we don't need to push the boulder. We just do what we feel is right. And we look at ourselves in the mirror every day. And sometimes we fall down and we still look at ourselves in the mirror and we try again. That's it.